Good evening, wanderers of the unseen path. This is AM Radio Stories. My name is 11th Journey, and I'll be your guide through these fleeting waves. Tonight, we reach the final letter from Margaret, a woman who loved not just with her heart, but with the entirety of her being. She has walked with us through seasons of hope, years of waiting, decades of faithful questioning. Now, in the gentle twilight of her life, she writes one last time. This is not a letter of ending, but of beginning. Not a farewell, but a recognition. In her final words, Margaret reveals what love becomes when it has been carried long enough. Not heavier, but lighter. Not desperate, but quiet. Not a question anymore, but something close to an answer. The letter reads,
My dearest Thomas, it has been a long time, hasn't it? I have written you so many letters over the years. Some I sent into the world, others I kept close, hidden in drawers, tucked between the pages of books. But this will be the last. The house is quiet now. The world outside moves faster than it once did. Automobiles replacing carriages. Voices speaking of things I barely understand. I have lived to see time stretch far beyond what I once imagined. And yet, I find myself returning to the past more often than the present. The garden has grown wild in places I can no longer reach. The roses you planted the spring before you left, they still bloom, Thomas. Every year, without fail, as though they are keeping a promise you made to the soil itself. I sit among them when the weather is kind, and I talk to you there, the way I always have. I do not know what awaits me after this life, Thomas. No one truly does. But I find that I no longer fear it. The thought of what comes next does not fill me with worry, but with wonder. Because I have dreamed of you, Thomas. Not as memory, not as longing, but as something real. I see you standing by the garden gate, waiting, just as I once waited for you. You are young, your uniform crisp, but your eyes are kind and knowing, as if you have seen all my years and love me still. I hear your voice in the wind that rustles the trees outside my window. I feel your warmth in the last rays of the evening sun. I know it is foolish. I know it may only be my mind reaching for comfort. But what is love, if not the quiet certainty that we are never truly alone? I am tired, Thomas. I have lived a good life. I have laughed and cried. I have danced and mourned. I have seen the world change in ways we never imagined. But through it all, I have carried you with me. You have been my constant, my silent companion, my never forgotten promise. And now, I think it is time. Time to let go of the waiting. Time to close my eyes, just for a little while. Time to walk toward whatever comes next, knowing that, perhaps, you are there, waiting at the garden gate. And if you are not, if the other side is only silence, then let me go with this truth in my heart. I have loved, and I have been loved. And that is enough. Yours, always, Margaret.
I have read many letters on this frequency. Letters of longing, of confusion, of rage, of wonder. But I do not think I have ever held one quite like this. A letter that asks for nothing. Not for answers, not for reunion, not even for hope. Only for the truth of what was lived to be enough. Her final words, "I have loved and I have been loved, and that is enough," contains something I think most of us spend our whole lives trying to reach. The understanding that love's value was never in its outcomes. It was never about whether Thomas came home, whether the waiting was rewarded, whether the story ended the way she hoped. It was about the loving itself. And that, she tells us, was always enough. And so, dear listeners, we leave Margaret's final words here, wrapped in the hum that carries us all. She has taught us that love does not end. It only changes shape, moving through time, through silence, through memory, into forms we are only beginning to understand. I will be here again, as I always am when the hum returns and threads of time weave us closer still. Until then, remember that to have loved truly is to have touched something eternal, for the journey is never truly done.